3 years with my boyfriend culminated in a humiliating scene at a fancy restaurant on our anniversary. After waiting alone for 2 hours, he arrived with his buddies, announcing loudly, "Look at her, still sitting there like a loyal little dog." Their laughter echoed. We'd been together for 3 years, and I just cleared his car loan. I forced a smile, ordered another drink, and left. By morning, my phone showed 78 missed calls, and his belongings were in trash bags at the local landfill. How we met. Randy and I crossed paths 3 years ago when my apartment flooded after my upstairs neighbour forgot their bath running for an entire weekend. Seriously, who does that? I was temporarily staying at my brother's place during repairs, and Randy was the plumber sent to fix the mess. He kept discovering new issues with my pipes, which I later suspected was his sneaky way of coming back to see me. At the time, I found it charming. Now, I wonder if he was tampering with my plumbing to stretch out the job. Our connection felt effortless, which was unusual for me since I'm typically shy around strangers. We clicked instantly, and by our first year, things were going well. We moved in together after just 8 months, probably too soon, but his lease was up, and it seemed practical to split costs. Randy worked as a plumber but struggled with steady income. He'd either get fired for tardiness or quit, claiming his bosses were jerks who didn't value his talent. That was my first warning sign, which I ignored. He'd send me long, ranting voice messages on Telegram, bashing his boss as a clueless idiot or mocking his accent and style. I saved these in my favourites folder, sometimes downloading the nastiest ones, not entirely sure why. Maybe I sensed they'd be useful one day. He was just as harsh about his parents, especially when they refused to lend him money. He'd send scathing voice messages, calling his dad a spineless failure and his mum a puppet with no brain. Once, after they declined to cover his car payment, he sent a 6-minute tirade about how they were useless nobodies he was ashamed to call family. I felt uneasy listening, but saved them anyway. By our second year, I was footing most of our bills. My job isn't glamorous, but it's reliable. I told myself relationships require give and take. Sometimes one partner carries more until the other stabilizes. Randy kept promising a big break was coming, and I believed him. 6 months ago, his 2015 Mustang, his dream car that was way out of his budget, broke down. He was crushed, saying he needed it for work. Foolishly, I offered to cover the car loan payments, $390 a month, which strained my finances. I thought it would help him get back on track. Looking back, it's painfully clear why I shouldn't have done it, but at the time, I saw it as supporting us. He was emotional about losing his baby, and since we shared expenses, his unemployment affected me too. The anniversary disaster last week, I paid off the final installment of his car loan, a huge financial burden lifted. For our 3-year anniversary, I booked a table at a high-end restaurant we'd always wanted to try but couldn't afford, meaning I couldn't afford to treat us both. I got all dolled up, new dress, hairstyled, the works, and arrived at 7 p.m. Randy texted that he was delayed and to get seated. By 7:30, no reply to my texts. By 8 o'clock, my calls went to voicemail. The server's sympathetic glances and offers to reschedule were mortifying, but I kept saying, "He's just stuck in traffic," while obsessively checking my phone. At 8:50, nearly 2 hours later, Randy strolled in with 4 friends, all tipsy and laughing. This wasn't a mix-up. He hadn't mentioned inviting anyone to our anniversary dinner. They swaggered to my table, and then Randy said, loud enough for nearby diners to hear, "Told you she'd still be here, waiting like a loyal dog." His friends roared with laughter. One, Jake, a guy I've always disliked, chimed in, "Man, you weren't lying, she's well trained." More laughs. Randy sat beside me, pinched my cheeks like I was a kid, and said, "This is why she's great. Most girls would have bailed, but Callie? She pays my bills and sticks around like a champ." Then he smirked and added, "What? Did you think this was some mushy romantic night? That's cute. We've got poker later. I just needed to check you're good for the next payment." When I stayed silent, he grabbed my chin, tilted my face toward him and snapped, "Hello? You in there, Callie? Don't just sit there looking pitiful. Say something." His friends found this hilarious. The server approached, visibly uncomfortable, asking if we were ready to order. I managed a smile and said, "Just another wine for me, please." Randy and his crew ordered pricey appetizers and drinks, tossing out more jabs about my patience and how lucky Randy was to have someone so dependable. Then Randy told the server, pointing at me, "No food for her though, she's watching her weight, a few more pounds, and we'll need a bigger table." Everyone laughed again as I sat there, humiliated. After my wine arrived, I excused myself to the restroom, where I stared in the mirror for 5 minutes. I wasn't crying or even angry, just done. 3 years of excuses, financial support, and ignored red flags, and this was how he saw me. I decided then, no scene, no tears, no dramatics. Randy deserved something smarter. I opened Telegram, scrolled through his saved voice messages, rants about his incompetent boss and loser parents, and texted my friend Emma to pick me up in 10 minutes. Back at the table, I smiled, said I had a work call, and stepped outside. I paid for my wines at the counter, told the server Randy would cover the rest, and left with Emma, blocking his number before he noticed I was gone. The plan. That night at Emma's, I broke down, sobbing messily while she brought me cookie dough ice cream. My phone lit up with Randy's texts. First furious, "Where the hell are you?" Then fake concern, "Just tell me you're okay." Then gaslighting, "It was just a joke, you're overreacting." I ignored them and made a list of accounts I had access to. His email, from job applications, Instagram, he kept forgetting his password, iCloud, set up on my laptop, Spotify and Netflix, I paid for both, and his banking app for car payments. It hit me how much trust he'd placed in me and how I could use it. The next morning, after barely sleeping, I acted. I logged into his banking app and saw the final car payment was still processing. I called the bank, explained I'd been coerced into paying for someone else's car, and provided texts where Randy admitted the car was his alone. I also mentioned voice messages where he bragged about me covering his expenses. The bank reversed the payment pending investigation. Randy called repeatedly, leaving voicemails swinging from anger, "You're ruining our anniversary," to desperation. I sent them to voicemail. Curious, I checked his email and found messages with his friends planning the restaurant stunt. Jake had written, "Can't wait to see her face when you say it's not a real anniversary dinner, lol." And Randy replied, "She'll just sit there like always." Worse, I found flirty emails with a co-worker, Amber, going back months. Nothing explicit, but definitely inappropriate, so like a after work email from last week. Then, in his Google Drive, I found a recording of him and Jake laughing about me being his cash cow and how he'd stick with me until something better came along. I made another list. Send boss-ranting voice messages to his boss. Send parent-bashing voice messages to his parents. Cancel shared subscriptions. Pack his stuff. Secure my accounts. Using a temporary Telegram account, I sent the clips of Randy insulting his boss to his boss's email, found in Randy's job application, and the ones trashing his parents to them, with a note, "This is how Randy speaks about you." I cancelled Netflix and Spotify, changed my passwords, and started packing his clothes into trash bags, not bothering to fold them, a small rebellion since I always did his laundry. By afternoon, I had 15 bags of his stuff. When my doorbell rang, I saw Randy on the camera, holding flowers and looking pathetic. I didn't answer. He rang, knocked, yelled about me being immature, and left after 20 minutes, sliding a note under my door. "It was a joke, I'm sorry, talk to me." I kept packing. By evening, the bank confirmed the payment reversal. Randy texted frantically, "Why's a tow truck here? What did you do to my car?" His boss had received the voice messages and put him on probation. His parents were devastated, his mum crying, his dad refusing to speak to him. Emma suggested taking his stuff to the dump. After hesitating, checking for vital documents like passports, I agreed. We loaded 15 bags into her brother's truck and watched the landfill compactor crush his clothes and collectibles. It was cathartic. The aftermath. The next day, I woke to scratching at my door. My doorbell cam showed Randy sliding notes under it. "I need my stuff for work. My boss might fire me. My car's gone." I felt a fleeting pang of guilt, then remembered his planned humiliation. I collected the notes as evidence and ignored his 83 missed calls and 17 voicemails. His mom's voicemail stood out. She thanked me for revealing Randy's true character and asked to talk. I saved it but haven't replied. Jake showed up, claiming he wasn't at the restaurant and accusing me of revenge. My camera caught him filming, likely to trap me. The car payment refund hit my account, and Emma and I made a timeline. Restaurant humiliation, Thursday, discovering his emails, Friday, sending voice clips, Friday, dump trip, Sunday. Randy's Instagram apology was vague, with friends asking questions and Amber commenting, "Call me?" A mutual friend, Damon, texted that Randy claimed I'd hacked his accounts and stolen from him. I told Damon the truth, playing a clip of Randy calling me his ATM. Damon was shocked, saying Randy had lied to their friends for months, calling me clingy and unstable. More notes from Randy appeared, angrier now. "Oh, you're ruining my life. You'll regret this." I cleaned my apartment, tossed our old sheets, and hung art Randy had vetoed. HR from his workplace emailed asking about his conduct. I sent 3 voice messages where he insulted his boss and admitted to slacking. His next Instagram post hinted at unemployment. At the grocery store, I ran into his mom, who thanked me again, revealing she and Randy's dad had co-signed his car loan and were hurt by his betrayal. A neighbour left me a Starbucks gift card, thrilled Randy was gone for being loud and rude. I changed my locks, phone number, and made my social media private. The car loan company confirmed the Mustang's repossession, with no further action against me due to Randy's fraud. Emma asked if I felt guilty. I didn't. Randy took my money, time, and confidence for 3 years. I just showed everyone who he was. 6 months later, I moved to a new apartment. Smaller, pricier, but mine. I adopted Cammy, a tortoiseshell cat who hisses at men but cuddles me nightly. I've saved $2,300 from the car payments for a solo trip to Portland. Randy lost his job after a meltdown, moved out of his parents' house for breaking rules, and couch surfs with a shrinking friend group. His car was auctioned, leaving him with debt. Amber's his girlfriend now, but their relationship is rocky. She caught him on Tinder. His brother asked me out. I declined. I calculated I spent over $30,000 on Randy, money for a house deposit or travel. No regrets, though. I'm done with him. No closure needed. Kami and I are thriving, and I'm learning to trust my instincts.